Hey, beautiful. Welcome to the Magic with Mary podcast. I'm your host, Mary. If you're a sucker for all things personal development, mindset, and growth, you're in the right place because here we teach you how to live your most authentic life, how to gain confidence, and how to step into your power. If you're ready to let go of the things that are holding you back, stay tuned and let the magic begin. Hey, you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited to be back. It's been a long time since I recorded an episode, and if you're new here, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I think you're going to like this. If you are, one of my favorite people ever, and you've been listening for quite a while, again, thank you. You're in for some changes, though. And I was going to record a podcast about all the changes that I'm going to be making and the different things that I'm going to be talking about. However, I got to realizing that every time I sat down to record that episode, I just couldn't quite come up with something I wanted to say. And what I realized is that I had this feeling of like, I should record a podcast to let them know that I'm kind of pivoting and changing this podcast and what it's about. And I got to realizing, hey, it's not always about what we should do. And it's really about what we want to do. And right now, I'm not feeling an episode about why I'm changing some things up. I definitely want to talk about that some more. It's just not quite there. And so why keep trying to pressure something if it's not, if it's not there, then it just feels forced and the podcast doesn't sound authentic. And that's what I'm here to do, is help you live more authentically, because that's what we want to do. We want to live our most authentic lives and be happy as who we are, right? So I'm going to go ahead and skip that episode. And hopefully in the next week or two, I can hop on and have a little bit more detail about why we're pivoting, because really we moved from manifestation and then kind of started talking about mindfulness, and now we're taking a little bit of a step back and going back to where I originally started in the online space, which was movement, mindset, and all these things. And why am I going back? That's a whole podcast episode. I promise I'll get into it another day. And, I guess I shouldn't say promise, because really I might not ever feel the need to do it. Maybe just getting these podcasts up and going again, you guys will just kind of understand through time the shift that I'm making and why I'm making it. And maybe that's the way we're going to go. So we're just going to go ahead and dig right into today's episode and what we're talking about. So let's talk all things waking up early. I love this topic because those of you who know me, I love waking up early. Now, when my alarm clock goes off, I do not feel that way. Okay? I have not always been a morning person. That's not, that's not who I am. I haven't always been that way. However, I love waking up early because I love the way I feel after I do my morning routine. And I've grown to become addicted to it because of the way it makes me feel. And on days that I don't do it, I recognize the difference. And because I recognize that difference, and maybe those days I don't feel as good, I value the importance of waking up early. Now, I truly believe that we should all get quality sleep and definitely get the amount of hours that we need. So I'm not telling you to wake up at the crack ass of dawn. I'm just telling you, sometimes giving yourself an extra hour in the morning to do your things is totally worth it, because it's going to make you feel better. You're going to be able to put some time and effort into mindset work, to meditation, mindfulness, and movement. And that's going to help you throughout your day be more effective, more productive. And you're going to be more of yourself, because you're going to be able to put the intention that you have into that morning routine or whatever it is that you do in the morning, so that as you move throughout your day, That intention is in the background of your mind. And as you know, our minds are powerful and magical, and they're going to make shit happen in the background. Your brain's going to be processing all of these things, and it's going to happen in the background. And that intention that you set early in the morning is, going to be subconsciously happening throughout your day. And that's where I believe manifestation really takes place. The magic happens within our mind. Our minds are so freaking powerful. And so that's why we're talking about sleep today. So here are 6 things that will help you wake up earlier. Number 1, have something ready that you look forward to. Now, for me, that's coffee. Maybe you're not a coffee drinker. Maybe you're a tea drinker. Maybe you don't want to wake up and rely on coffee. So that might not be your thing. But for me, and maybe for some of you who are struggling to wake up early, having a little something ready for yourself that you are excited and kind of gives you that little dopamine rush of like, oh yeah, I get to wake up and do this, might be the little tweak that you need to make. So what I do is I go ahead and I will get my pot of coffee ready. And I set the timer. So I wake up, and as I'm brushing my teeth, doing all the things in the bathroom, I come out into the kitchen and the coffee is up and going and almost made. I wake up in the morning looking forward to the smell of coffee. Not so much the taste of it as much as I look forward to that first, walking into the kitchen, opening a window, and just enjoying the fresh air and the scent of coffee. Another thing I like to do is I go grab a cup of coffee and I'll walk onto the back patio and just stand there, take a few deep breaths, and I take a couple sips of coffee and really just enjoy the moment, present moment mindfulness. Okay. So if you're struggling to wake up in the morning, what is something you can do? So for those of you who aren't coffee drinkers, maybe having, set a cup of tea there and a bag, right there in the morning so that you can quickly do that. Maybe you have some hot water that you're easily accessible. If not, then put it right next to your microwave. Or maybe you enjoy maybe there's a pre-workout shake that you like to make, or maybe you have electrolyte drink that you can mix up and put it in the fridge and it's ready to go first thing in the morning. Sometimes a little bit of that, I guess I kind of call it a dopamine rush. I don't know my science here, so just ignore that. I call it a dopamine rush because it's like, okay, coffee, let's go. So that is number 1 for me. Maybe you can find something that works for you. Number 2, something that really helps me wake up early is being able to have a morning routine that I'm committed to. So take some time and put together a routine that's going to work for you. Go ahead and try reading the Miracle Morning, because that is the perfect routine to start out with. I started out with that, waking up a little bit earlier and following what Hal Elrod, I think that's his name. You please don't quote me on that name. I think it's Hal Elrod. I can't remember. The guy who wrote the Miracle Morning. I'm going to link that in the show notes. I cannot think of his name right now. Anyways, go look that book up, and he calls these the 6 savers. So you're going to wake up, you're going to do a little bit of silence for 10 minutes, affirmations for 10 minutes, visualization for 10 minutes, exercise at least 10 minutes, maybe a little bit more if you are like me and enjoy movement. Then you're going to do some reading for 10 minutes, and then you're going to S is for scribe or journal for 10 minutes. It's a great morning routine and something that's going to be able to help you, stay committed to something. And once you start doing these things and you have this commitment, it makes you wake up. Another thing you can do is really maybe you have a workout program that you're following, and if you get off track, it's going to put you behind. Sometimes that will motivate you enough to get you going. So maybe having a program or a plan that you're following that you have to wake up for, once you feel like you need to wake up, there's this obligation, and it's kind of like, okay, I got to get up. I do want to push snooze, but I got to get up. For me, that morning routine, because I'm so addicted to it, because I know how good it makes me feel, is what gets me up in the morning. I know that I'm going to feel good as soon as I get that. I might wake up feeling groggy and I feel like, oh, I do not want to, I don't want to do this. I can sleep in, I can do all the things. My mind goes berserk with all the things and reasons why I should push snooze. And I say to myself, like, hey, you're going to feel better. So just get up, and you do. Okay. And that's going to lead to, some positive affirmations, which we'll talk about later. That'll come. We're going to go to step number 3, which is, go to bed earlier and get some quality sleep. Okay. If you are not getting enough sleep, that's going to affect your day. It's going to affect how you wake up. If you're not getting quality sleep, you're not going to want to wake up as much. So honestly, make it a priority to get that sleep in, because it's going to help you want to wake up. I know that when I get a good 8 hours of sleep and it's a quality night of sleep, sometimes it's a lot easier. Well, that being said, that's not always true. Sometimes what you need to do is, moving into the next step, is accept that waking up in general is not the easiest thing to do. So step number 5, or the 5th thing that you can do, is really just put this acceptance piece on. Okay. Sometimes even when I get that quality sleep, I still just want to push snooze. And it's a good reminder to me that after about 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to feel alert. So that snooze button, you know what? It's not going to help me feel better. It's just going to make me feel like shit. So just wake up and do it, and accept the fact that, you know what? I'm not always going to feel good. Okay. Because sometimes even when you get that good sleep, now I'm going back to step 4. Sorry guys, I skipped all the things. So step 4 is to stop using the snooze button and use the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule. Okay. I don't know if you guys know who Mel Robbins is, but if you have not heard of her, go look up the 5-second rule. So in the morning, when you go to push snooze, what is happening is you push snooze and you put yourself out of your sleep pattern, right? Okay, so I believe that our sleep cycles go in like 60 to 90 minutes. I'm not sure. Please don't quote me there. It could be wrong. So once you push snooze, you go back to bed 10 minutes. Okay, so then you're going to wake up in 10 minutes, which is nowhere near a normal sleep cycle. So you're only 10 minutes into your next sleep cycle, and you are going to have to get up. So now you're in the middle of a sleep cycle, you wake up and you're going to feel even more groggy. You're going to feel like shit. So pushing snooze, not helpful. Another thing about pushing snooze is kind of like telling yourself, like, I really don't want to live my life. I'm just going to push snooze. Okay. That's something they talk about in the Miracle Morning. It's a really valid point. Every time you push snooze, it's like pushing snooze on your life. I don't want to be awake. I don't want to be awake. No, stop doing that. Just stop. Okay. It's not helping you in any way, shape, or form. And I'm saying this to myself right now because I pushed snooze last week. Mary, it's not helping you. So that goes back to the acceptance piece. These last couple ways and things that are going to help you, they all kind of blend in together. Going back to the last one, that acceptance piece. When you accept that sometimes it's just not going to be fun to wake up, you'll be able to let go of that guilt. And so you just accept that, okay, sometimes this sucks, and I'm just going to do it anyways. You build that resilience. It's wonderful. So moving on to the last thing that's really going to help you wake up earlier is to start your morning off with a positive affirmation or declaration. Something like, I'm excited to live my life. And so if you guys have listened to me before, you know the difference between an affirmation and a declaration. An affirmation is something that is, I am this. A declaration is something that's going to be more or less like helping you believe that, right? Because if you sit and repeat an affirmation and in the background you don't believe it, all that is doing is creating more lack and frustration for you. And then it's going to be harder and harder for you to want to go after that thing, because it's like, you know what? I am so excited for this day. Maybe you're not excited and you keep saying that over and over again, and it's so freaking frustrating to you. So take a step back and recognize, okay, you know what? Move this into a declaration. I am starting to be more excited each day I wake up. I am more excited. You can also use things like, even though I don't feel excited to wake up, I know that through time I'm going to start enjoying waking up more and more. That's going to be something that like helps get your mind on board. Because if you just keep repeating an affirmation that doesn't resonate with you, all you're doing is forcing yourself to feel like shit about something. So don't do that. Use a declaration instead of an affirmation. Or if you are excited to wake up, use that, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm excited to get out of bed, and get your ass out of bed. That's going to help you. So just to kind of recap the 6 things that will help you wake up earlier. Number 1, have something ready that you look forward to. Maybe a cup of coffee, whatever it is that you're looking for. Number 2, have a morning routine that you're committed to following, or a program or something that's going to help you feel the need and motivation to get up. Number 3, go to bed earlier and get your quality sleep. Number 4, stop using the snooze button and use the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule. Number 5, accept that sometimes waking up in general is not going to be the easiest thing to do. And number 6, start your morning off with a positive affirmation or a declaration. And that is the 6 tips that will help you wake up earlier. I know that waking up earlier has given me more time for myself in the mornings. And doing that has helped me be a better mom because I've gained that patience piece in the morning. I've been able to set my intention and really start my morning off strong. It's helped me be a more resilient and really altogether happier person. And with that said, I'm still crazy and wild and all the things, and still working and growing every day. So hopefully these things help. Let me know if they do. And as always, if you loved this podcast, go ahead and share it with a friend. Leave a review. I would love for you to help me out. This podcast is really here for everyone to be able to expand and grow. And the only way I can share my message and get it out to the world is for me to put it here and ask for you to share this with someone else. So like it, rate it, review it, send it to somebody. And thank you so much for tuning in. If you're looking for a little something more, go ahead and get on Amazon and look up the Magic Manifesting Journal by Mary Jo. That's me. And buy a copy of it. It is there. It is up. For those of you who knew that I was kind of putting this together, I finally have it published on Amazon. I'm super excited. So go check it out. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you all. Mwah.